Good evening and welcome to Weather Fans Live here on Saturday, the 4th of July 26. I hope you're all well on this Saturday evening time. What we've got for you tonight, we've got the June stats, and could we have another heat wave on the way? We shall take a look tonight. But let's pop my head into the comments and see who is in at the moment. Good evening to Laura. Leave Mark had a great, have a good stream. I'm off out short to photograph Clun Castle stream at Steam Loco. Yeah. Actually, I also mentioned the chat there. Clun Castle, I just stopped at my station earlier on this morning. Unfortunately, I didn't see her because I was at work. But yeah, I should be passing virtually about 50 meters behind me. I think there's like 2 rows of houses, then it's the railway line, so I should be passing a bit later on. It's running late, typical. Sometimes usually Rush runs late because they go from a depot not too far from me. I've just forgotten the name of the depot. It's just outside Birmingham. It'll come to me shortly. Anyway, good evening to our mod James. Hope you're well on this Saturday night. And also we've got dog training as well. Well, let's crack straight into it and have a look at the June stats. Of course, Tilsley, that's it. Yes, Tilsley. Thank you, Laura. Oh, there it is. So yeah, obviously June was mostly noted about the heat wave we had when temperatures got into up to the towards the high 30s. I think we got 37.7, I believe. We'll verify that later on. But yes, temperatures for June for the 91 to 20 anomaly. So the mean temperature was running over 2.5 degrees above average for much of England and Wales. Elsewhere, we're looking about 1.5 to 2.5 degrees above average. And for parts of Western Scotland, we're looking around about a degree above average. So a few degrees above average, but compared to the 61 to 90 anomaly, we're talking about 4 degrees above average. So it just shows you how much warmer it is between the two 30-year averages. What we're looking at next is the rainfall. It's a bit of a mixed bag, actually, for the UK. For the 91 to 20 anomaly, we're looking at it's a very mixed bag across the whole UK. Wettest really towards Western Scotland, Northern Ireland, and perhaps more dry towards parts of the east of the UK. And it's more elsewhere. It's more average and close to average elsewhere. Got these slight blues across here. These might be in association with the perhaps heavy thunderstorms where we had during the heat wave, but mostly wetter towards northwestern areas and more drier towards the east. So overall, it's quite close to average, apart from some isolated spots. Looking at the sunshine for June, again, not too much deviation. Northwestern areas are more cloudier or less sunnier than perhaps southeastern areas. And even towards the southeast here is actually like a little spot there, which was a bit below. So overall, it's about close to average, perhaps slightly above for much of England there towards eastern areas. And parts of Wales where it's slightly above the sunshine. And I've got the lightning strikes for June. So the whole lightning strikes for June, and really spot the UK. Most places have seen some lightning close or above. This line here was in association with that huge line of thunderstorms which affected like northwestern Scotland as the heat wave was starting to break down. And we had those thunderstorms towards the southeast during the week of the heat wave, and sporadic thunderstorms was moving around as that heat decided to dissipate. And speaking of heat, was that going to do that? Yeah, I'm just putting my head back into the chat because a few people have come in since. James saying, doing good. You must be enjoying the somewhat cooler weather. Indeed, indeed I am. But things could be on the rise. YouTube been very temperamental here. Good evening, Audio Coffee. Hope you're well. Good evening to Anne Smith as well. Spot the UK. I can see where I live on the stupid storms. There's the whole where the storms haven't gone. Had intense thunderstorms up here. Like every 1 second was that been over America. Well, we just seen on those charts how literally covered Scotland was during that. You can have mine. I'll take any storm that's capable of surviving my location. You need to knock down your storm shield. There's still time yet. We're only nearly halfway through summer and can only get through to September, early October. So still early days yet. Still plenty of time. Good evening to all the mod Paul James. Ian Mog from the semi-desert of Hampshire. Yeah, and that's how much the grass is actually turning more yellow around here as I was coming back from work today. But there's not really any signs of any rainfall, really, for much of England during the next week or so, really. That's one-off won't get repealed out of Scotland for not for a few years anyway. Well, you don't know what's around the corner. You might be surprised. Right. Let's see if I get this chart ready. Right, are you stopping everything from moving? You are. So let's have a look at the facts charts from the Met Office. So these are from 6 p.m. this evening. We've got high pressure towards the southwest. Got some weather front stringing along towards the north of the UK. Then what's going to happen in the next few days? High pressure will start to build across the UK. There's still going to be one or two weather fronts skirting across Scotland. Then eventually high pressure will start to increase influence across the UK. So the first few days we'll still see some weather fronts crossing Scotland, Northern Ireland, but eventually the Azores high will start to build in, turning things much drier, even up towards Scotland. So let's run through that again. Some weather fronts going through. What's going on here? I think I need to get this laptop serviced because it's just playing about a little bit. Look at the UK. So that in English. Rainfall for the next few days. Let's take a look with high resolution. So currently we've got rainfall towards Scotland. That start to fizzle out. Then we've got another band coming through Sunday for northern areas. All the while, England and Wales remain dry. Then another band of rain comes through Scotland. So keeping things quite unsettled up there. Another band comes through on Tuesday for Scotland. And eventually, things will start to turn drier as high pressure starts to move from the southwest. Temperatures during this time. So let's get through into tomorrow. Temperatures over the UK on Sunday, ranging from around about 11 to 16 in Scotland, perhaps on the eastern coast of Scotland, perhaps up to 18, 19. Much of England and Wales are into the mid-20s, perhaps peaking around about 29 down towards the southeast. Then overnight temperatures will be hovering around about the mid-teens. And going through into Monday, still cool up towards Scotland and parts of northern England where you've got those weather fronts. This is showing perhaps 32, 33 towards the southeast. And going into Tuesday, still remaining quite cool up towards the northwest. Then temperatures still building up down towards the southeast, reaching about 32, 33, perhaps down towards Kent, London and Kent way. And that's the threshold there for 3 consecutive days over 28 degrees for the southeast. I think I have the temperature threshold. Is that going to show? Yeah. So there's the heatwave threshold temperatures. So the dark reds are showing temperature above 28 degrees. The lighter reds is for temperature of 27 degrees or above. Then the darker pinks are around about 26, and elsewhere is 25 degrees. So wherever you are in the country, if there's temperatures beats that threshold 3 consecutive days, then you can say you've had a heat wave. And that seems to be the case there, because temperatures tomorrow is expected to be into the upper 20s. And on Monday, Tuesday, we're seeing temperatures again over 30 degrees. So it looks like we do have a heat wave for those locations. Let's go back to the charts. Going into Wednesday night, temperatures still remaining into the mid to upper teens. Into Wednesday, the UKV is showing temperatures starts to rise up towards northern areas, especially mostly eastern areas, still northwest Scotland remaining into the mid to high teens. Even parts of the Midlands now showing temperatures up to about 30, 31 degrees, and we could peak around about 35 on Wednesday. And that's as far as I can go with the UKV. Just put my head back into the chat a second. Good night, Laura. I hope you can manage to catch that train okay as it passes. Let's change that over and have a look, see what's the latest GFS is showing us. Eventually we'll get there. Do apologise. So let's have a look at the 850, the upper air temperatures. I'm going to do it for this morning's run and for now, so we can compare, see how the both model runs are showing. So let's get rid of that silly banner. So on the left is the latest run from the GFS. On the right is the one from this morning. So let's go through into tomorrow. So both in agreements. The 50-degree isotherm is just hitting southern areas going into Wednesday. Both showing that exhaust high extending across the UK. With the latest run from lunchtime has got that 20-degree isotherm just across the channel. And this morning's run has it just over the channel. It's going to Thursday. And that 20-degree isotherm is just skirting the south coast, actually on both. So both in agreement there. Not much change as we head to Thursday. Friday, this morning's run has the 20-degree isotherm over towards the southeast of England. The latest run just still keeps it across the channel. Going into next Saturday. We have a slight difference there. We've got high pressure a bit towards our northwest with the latest run, and with the this morning's run, keeps it more elongated with that Azores high extend across, but we're more focused in the heat towards eastern areas where we've still got that 20-degree isotherm affecting southeastern areas, whereas the latest run keeps it across the channel. Going into next Sunday, we've got high pressure then moving up towards the northeast of the country. We'll start bringing in a bit of an easterly wind there. Keeps the 20-degree isotherm across the channel. This morning's run has it as the 20-degree isotherm still towards the southeast. And we're still a bit of a northeasterly on that, actually, with the extended exhaust high going from the Azores up towards Scandi. So that should just start to keep the heat slightly towards southeastern areas. During Monday, the high pressure starts to move back down south and starts to push fresher air across the UK, moves that even the 15-degree isotherm back across the channel, whereas this morning's run keeps the 15-degree isotherm across much of England and Wales and southern Scotland. The 20-degree isotherm is just skimming the south coast, and I'll go as far as Tuesday. And by Tuesday, both actually showing the hint of that 20-degree isotherm actually coming back in towards southeastern areas. So I will increase the temperature. Let's bring up the temperatures on both of these. So let's go through into tomorrow and see the temperature differences between the two as we go further afield. So both in agreement. Tomorrow, cool up towards the northwest, where temperatures will be in the low teens to mid-teens up towards Scotland. Much of England and Wales are into the low to mid-20s, maybe going up to around about 30, 31 towards the southeast. Going into Monday, still both showing fresh conditions up towards the northwest, and temperatures starts to rise further towards the southeast. Much of England and Wales at around about the mid-20s, maybe peaking around about 32, 33 towards the southeast on both. Going into Tuesday, temperatures increasing further, especially across Normandy there, where temperatures are going back into the low 40s once again for parts of France. Elsewhere across the UK, temperatures up into the 30s across the Midlands, East Anglia down towards the south. It could be peaking around about 34, maybe 35 degrees, shown on both. Again, still remaining fresh up towards the northwest. Going into Wednesday, another day where temperatures are into the upper 20s for many. Even the heat starts to move up towards Scotland, where temperatures are increasing up into the low to mid-20s, especially for eastern Scotland there. In parts of Ireland are up into the mid to high 20s, but much of England and Wales we're into the 30s still, perhaps even across the Midlands. East Anglia up to about 32, 33, maybe even 34. The hot spots around the M4 corridor, we're looking around about 35, maybe 36, which is really shown between the two. There's not much difference between the temperature charts for Wednesday between this morning's run and breakfast run. Take as far as Sunday. And still, the heat continues into Thursday, widely across the board into the mid-20s, and temperatures still rising into the mid-30s now across much of England and Wales. So we're continue this heat wave by the looks of it going into next week. But the critical thing is where this high pressure moves to. Obviously, we're going to see day by day building of the heat as high pressure sits over the top. But once this high pressure starts to move, there's going to be some variations of where the wind's going to be coming around from. So as we get into Friday, we saw that high pressure on the latest run move up towards northeast of Scotland, start to bring in the wind maybe from the North Sea a little bit. Temperature starts to come down towards slightly from the northeast. Temperature still into the 30s, but not as high as the day before. That was on the latest run, but on this morning's run, it was showing temperatures still widely into the mid-30s, perhaps even against the high 30s down towards the southeast, could even be peaking about 38, 39 possible. And moving into next Saturday, again, still showing temperatures into the 30s quite widely away from northern areas. This morning's run was showing temperatures again into the high 30s for many from parts of the Midlands down towards the southeast. Again, perhaps getting close to the 40-degree mark. And into next Sunday, let's bring up to Tuesday, the latest. So things are turning fresh up towards northern areas, but again through much of England and Wales, once again into the upper 20s, low 30s, perhaps reaching around about 35 towards Somerset, Dorset way. And this morning's run was still showing acceptable temperature into the mid-30s. So this is a week on where temperatures will be high. So this could be like a really prolonged hot spell developing here. And Monday, the 13th of July, temperatures widely again across the board into the mid-20s. Perhaps about 3 or 4 degrees cooler for some parts of the UK on the latest run, where temperatures are just staying in the high 20s, low 30s. So it looks like about maybe 4 or 5 degrees lower compared to what we've just seen. But this morning's run just kept that heat going. Maybe push it more towards the southwest. We're looking at mid-30s to maybe 38, 39 degrees down towards Somerset on this latest run. And go through one more day. On Tuesday the 14th has cooler air moving in towards eastern areas of England and Scotland. Again, it's still showing temperatures in the high 20s, even low 30s. Could be peaking around about 36 degrees along the south coast of England. What we now 10 days away. And this morning's run just kept maintained as mid to high 30s across England and Wales into Tuesday. And just going forward, there's even on Wednesday the 15th, this morning's run was showing temperature into the low 40s appearing there. So it's still a long way off, but that'll be a ridiculously long period of hot weather if this was to come off on this morning's run. It's still showing that for days 11 and 12. And it's not till the end of next week where temperatures start to decrease slightly. So this morning's run has the heat wave continuing perhaps for the next 2 weeks. Well, both actually, both actually continue this heat wave. So for those that enjoy the hot weather, it's not looking great at all, is it really? Let's move that up. Why can I still? Oh, that's why. So for those I'm not fan of the hot weather, it's not looking great. Looks like things will start to turn warmer yet again. Just hope that with all that heat around, could produce some thunderstorms. If you don't have the heat, let's hope, fingers crossed, it cools things down a lot sooner than expected. So it's like we're heading into another heat wave with the latest models. Let's move over to the GFS weekly, the ECMWF weekly anomaly charts. Let's bring that across. So if those heat wave conditions continue, it's not looking great for the farmers who want rain right now. Where's those charts from the ECMWF? That's it. Let's press that. There we go. So the ECMWF weekly anomaly charts for the 6th of July through to the 13th of July has high pressure back over the UK, perhaps just slightly towards the northwest of the UK. When that's sinking air, day by day, temperatures will be rising. Going through to the 13th to the 20th of July has high pressure up towards north. We're bringing a bit of a easterly there, really. Maybe east to south easterly at times. But the continent have been quite hot. We could be dragging some heat off the near continent. Then the 20th of July through to the 27th of July has slightly lower pressure towards the south. That could be, with what heat around, could be in association with some thunderstorms, maybe. Maybe that could, I would say quite a thunder alert, but I think lower pressure. Then 27th of July through to the 3rd of August has low pressure over the UK. That will bring in the winds up from the southwest. So that could be when the Atlantic comes back. Then the first week of August, there's no clear signal there, so perhaps looking mixed. Then towards the middle of August has higher pressure in the central Atlantic, and could possibly in a bit of a northeasterly flow with that if that was to come off. I've got the same charts again, but this time for the precipitation. Excuse me. And no surprise really of all that high pressure around. We're looking much drier than average for the 6th of July through to the 13th. The 13th to the 20th is looking drier than average. The 20th to the 27th of July is looking around about average to slightly less than average. The 27th through to the 3rd of August is looking slightly wetter than average. The 3rd of August through to the 10th is looking around about average. And the same again for the 10th of August through to the 17th. And finally for the UK, the 2-meter temperatures, so the air temperatures. So for the 6th of July through to the 30th of July, we're looking around about 3 to 6 degrees above average for much of the UK. Again, we're looking for the 13th to the 20th, we're looking much above average. That continues to the 20th to the 27th of July and the 27th to the 3rd. And it's remaining above average throughout the whole period. Hello to Matthew. Hope you're well, and good night to you. Stay safe. I've just put my head back into the comments to see what I've missed. Oh, excuse me. I was up about 3 o'clock this morning. James was saying 3 nights back it dropped to 3.2 degrees, so it was touch chilly side, but very welcoming. I think we could do with that next week. Barbecue summer. If this sort's come out, it's looking like a proper summer. So with all this heat building, hopefully it will trigger some big storms. We're hoping it will trigger some big storms. Scorchio looks more than that, doesn't it? So we're going into another repeat of the heat. But the question is, could, for the 3rd month in a row, beat our monthly temperature record? Can't remember if the temperature record of 40.3 was recorded in July or August. If it's July, to beat the July record, we'll have to beat the UK record of 40.3. Spin through your comments. Paul James, houseboat restrictions down here. If this heat continues, there'll be more to be had across the UK. The only saving grace is the storm potential. Indeed. It also depends where this high pressure moves to as well. There's been like some uncertainties of where it's going to move to. But if it moves in the right place, then it should bring in cooler air, especially for the North Sea. So we shall see what will happen. Excuse me. Oops, what have I done here? There we go. Right, let's move away from the UK and have a look at the Storm Prediction Centre across the pond. So, convective outlook for across the pond. For today, we've got 14.5 million people in the enhanced risk for the likes of Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, Arlington, Alexandria. In the slides, we have just over 63 million people, the likes of New York, Indianapolis, Columbus, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa. And in the margin, we've got just under 50 million people for the likes of Chicago, Memphis, Boston, Denver, and Kansas City. So in summary, clusters of storms will move across parts of the Allegheny Plateau, apologies if I pronounced that incorrectly, into the mid-Atlantic with potential for numerous damaging wind gusts. Additional severe thunderstorms are expected across the Great Plains this afternoon and evening, posing a risk of severe wind gusts and large hail. Let's have a look for day 2, which will be for Sunday. And we've got a slight risk affecting just over 22 million people, including Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, Arlington, Alexandria. In the marginal, we've got over 60 million people, including New York, Dallas, Fort Worth, Charlotte, and Nashville. And the summary of that is scattered wind damage is possible with thunderstorms across the mid-Atlantic Sunday afternoon and evening.
Isolated strong storms are also possible across Montana, western North Dakota, and portions of the southern plains to Tennessee Valley. So that's a slight risk for tomorrow. And for Monday, we've just got a marginal risk which affects 11 million people. A summary of that is strong to severe thunderstorms are possible Monday afternoon and evening across portions of the southern mid-Atlantic and the northern plains. So more of a risk today and slightly tomorrow. There's nothing for days 4, 5, 6, and 7. Finally, we shall go over for the National Hurricane Center, and the quiet Atlantic continues into July as well. So nothing expected over the next 7 days. In the Pacific, there is a tropical wave located 700 miles southwest of the coast of southwestern Mexico, and it's producing disorganized shower activity. Development of the system appears unlikely as it moves westward across the central western portions of the East Pacific Basin during the next several days. And the formation chance in the next 48 hours is 0, and for the next 7 days, it's just 10%. So, not really expecting anything to form. I want snow. Let's see what winter brings. I think that. I don't know. I was going to say then. Just almost waiting to shut down mode then, didn't I? So yeah, this coming week, obviously temperatures we're seeing are going into heat wave conditions, rising across the board. But how high those temperatures go depends where this air of high pressure sits. And we could be looking at a prolonged heat as well. So I'm not looking for like 1 or 2 days. This looks set to last all through much of next week. And perhaps the week after, we shall see. But as I mentioned, hopefully it could bring in the risk of some storms. But with high pressure across the UK, I don't really see that happening, but you never know. A lot can change in the weather scene in 24 hours. The charts could bring up something completely different. Right, I've got through everything I needed to get through this evening. I'm going to start winding down. What are we next Saturday? Yeah, there will be a live next Saturday. I like snow, but no more. Look, we'll miss this area and go all the way to Snake Pass. You can't seem to get snow or storms, can you? Are you in like a storm shield or snow shield where you are? Well, I'm going to I'd like to thank the mods James and Paul James for keeping an eye on things. Thank you all so much for watching this evening. Seem to have got through that quite quickly this evening. So yeah, if you don't like the heat, it's just stay in. Just stay safe if you're not a fan of the heat. Right, I'm gonna head off now. I'll probably have an early night because I was up early this morning because I had work, and probably the bags are showing actually. If you want to know where Storm is, she's literally behind me, but in the window, curled up asleep. So that's why she's been very quiet. I don't want to disturb her because she's not causing the mayhem. So again, thank you for to our mods. Thank you for those watching as well. Stay safe in the heat, and I'll catch you soon. So from myself, good night for myself, and I shall see you next week at 8 p.m. Take care for now. Bye-bye.